What if I told you there's a place in Arkansas that hides both the Wild West family feud and is the birthplace of one of America's weirdest conspiracy theories? Welcome to Yellville and Summit area, here in the Ozarks of North Arkansas. In the 1840s, the brutal Everett-Tutt War turned these Ozark streets into a literal courthouse massacre. Fast forward a century later, and a man named Richard Sharp Shaver moved in, claiming that a race of underground aliens were controlling humanity through mind control rays. From deadly frontier feuds to hidden cave demons, this small town holds some of America's strangest secrets. So in the early 1800s, this area was home to the Shawnee Indians. There was a village here. As the Shawnee moved westward in the 1830s, the early white travelers and trappers and settlers moved into the abandoned huts and fields here. And that's why the original name of Yellville was Shawneetown. It was later named after Archibald Yell in the 1836. According to the local folklore, the governor said he would pay $50 to change the name to Yellville, which he reportedly never paid. His ancestors later paid the $50 sort of as a joke, but they paid the debt. Today, for the most part, Yellville, Arkansas is a picture of Ozark serenity. The heart of the town is the square, dominated by the Marion County Courthouse. It was built in 1944 with local stone after its predecessor burned down. Today it stands as a beautiful symbol of law and order. Even though peace and quiet blankets the rocky soil, it hides the memories of a tragic past. The very ground beneath this square is soaked in a history far more dark than it seems today. This town was once the epicenter of the only major political family feud in Arkansas's history. It ended in a bloodbath that dwarfed the Hatfield-McCoy saga. It all started with politics in the 1840s. Two politically opposed families, the Everett family and the Tutt King family. They turned Marion County into a battlefield. It wasn't about the land, it was about total control. The violence exploded on October 9th of 1848. When Sim Everett was gunned down in a Yellville shootout. Retaliation was swift, and the Everetts ambushed the Kings, killing Old Billy and his son. But the true horror arrived on Independence Day of 1849. Sheriff Jesse Mooney tried to intervene and get control of the situation, but it turned out to be a total chaotic massacre on the courthouse grounds that day, and it lasted all afternoon. And it all happened right here on the courthouse grounds right behind us. 10 men died. They fought with pistols, then knives, and then ultimately bricks. By the time the state militia arrived, 14 people were perished. Dubbed the Everett-Tutt War, the fight remains the deadliest family feud in Arkansas history. After the two family heads were eliminated, both families just went their separate ways, and it kind of left the residents of Yellville to pick up the pieces. And they've done a fine job. This is a very beautiful and quiet place. Got a nice park here. Well kept. Many decades after the gunfire faded, Yellville and Summit became home to a different kind of conflict. It was one of the mind of a man named Richard Sharpshaver. In 1963, the Pulp Fiction legend moved to the area of nearby Summit, just outside of Yellville. Earlier in the 1940s, he had terrified and thrilled millions with stories of dark subterranean beings who used ancient rays to torment humanity. He claimed that it was all true in his writings, which were published in the Pulp Fiction magazine Amazing Stories. He later moved to the Ozarks, surrounded by the caves that mirrored his fiction. He then stopped writing stories and started reading rocks. He believed the local limestone contained rock books with encoded messages from an ancient civilization. Here at his stone cottage and workshop just outside of Yellville, he would slice open rocks, photograph the crystal patterns that he saw, faces of mer people, lost cities, and warnings about the Deros that lived in the underworld. He made paintings of the picture stories that he saw in those rocks, paintings which are on display still in museums. To the locals, he was an eccentric artist, and to his followers, he was a prophet. Richard Shaver died in 1975, and he was buried here in Layton Cemetery, right here in Yellville. He left behind a legacy where the line between geology and sci-fi fantasy completely vanished. We came out here to Layton Cemetery here in Yellville to find and visit the gravesite of this amazingly creative individual. We're in Layton Cemetery and oh, here it is. Just found it. The grave of Richard Shaver. I was just about to tell you guys that we were walking all over this place looking for this gravesite, and we just found it. And this right here that I just picked up, it was laying here. It looks like a fossil of some kind of snail, because it's polished. It's because he cut stones. Somebody left him a stone. R.I.P. Richard Shaver and your wife Dorothy. In Yellville, the line between history and mystery are as close as the stones beneath our feet. Thanks for watching Nerd County Project.